Hey, it's Caroline with Fleet Feet. We're here at the running event with Andrew from Adidas, and he's going to walk us through the Adizero line for 2025.
Yeah, well, thank you. So we've got a few models here that have been making a big impact in the market already. And I want to start with the Adizero Evo SL. This was born out of inspiration from our very high-end shoe at $500, racing Ferrari, let's call it. But we wanted to bring it down to a space where a lot of people could look at it, wear it, feel comfortable, kind of an all-purpose shoe. Even though it sits in the Adizero line, which is the racing line, this is the training shoe that we have. So we're still using a super foam that is just very, very comfortable. Step and feel is really good. And then we wanted to make sure there was a comfort upper versus, some racing models are tighter to the foot. So we wanted to just make this something that you can run in, but you can also wear as a lifestyle shoe as well. I think the bold branding really works well. It stands out on shelf. And then we've always got the Continental rubber on the outside. Great in all conditions, wet and dry. $150, 8.5 ounces, and just a really fun shoe to wear.
Would it be safe to call this a daily trainer? Is that how you'd categorize it?
Yeah. It's one of the things we've been talking about is that it's a kind of Swiss Army knife. If you want to train daily in it, it works perfectly well. If you want to pick the pace up, it works really well because you've got the super foam in here with the Light Strike Pro that we use. So it was handed over to us, and we just had big smiles on our face because we had something that we needed in the marketplace where we were missing product.
It sounds very versatile, and you said it's $150 price point,
Yep.
Which sounds great. Let's move on to the next tier of fast.
Yeah, so this is our brand new Adios Pro 4. This just 2 weeks ago won the New York Marathon. Fresh out the box for the athletes, and they absolutely loved it. So this is the 4th iteration, and we kind of went for a brand new design with it. The midsole looks similar to the 3, but we've changed some of the geometries. We've changed a lot of parts to the shoe to make sure that it performs better for the athlete. Whenever we build shoes, we want to make sure it's the best for the athlete. They can be standing on the start line knowing that they don't have to worry about their feet. It's going to get the most help they can get. With all the testing we did, we came up with this design. So we came up with a brand new upper. It's almost a little bit stretchy, but it's very comfortable. Again, racing shoes often aren't built for comfort, they're built for speed. So it's lightweight, but we wanted to make sure, if you're racing the marathon, which is what this is built for, you're going to be having comfortable feet the whole time. There's no hard edges, there's no abrasion areas, so it was a really nicely executed upper to make sure that we're not worrying about that. But then we go into the midsole, which is Light Strike Pro, just like the Evo SL, but we've changed the compound a little bit. We've made it a little bit softer. It was something that the athletes were kind of asking for. Can you make it a little bit softer? That's going to make a difference over 26 miles. And so we've changed the compound there, and then we've changed the geometries a little bit here. So now the rocker point is at the 30% mark in the shoe, where that means when you're coming off the ground, that's the point where you're kind of launching off, and that's got the most amount of foam under it. So you're getting more benefit from the midsole compound that's already there.
And where was the rocker before?
I think it was about 20 to 25% previously. So it was more this way.
Towards the toe. Okay.
Yeah, so coming here, and you can really feel it when you put the shoe on. It's one of those unique feelings that you're like, oh, this is pushing me forward, which is a really nice feeling when you're going fast. Our energy rods that we use, carbon infused energy rods, we don't use a plate. These kind of follow your metatarsals to make sure that it's tuned and stiff on each of your toes so that you can get the most out of the power that you're putting in. And then we have this brand new light traction outsole, very sticky, but we did put Continental in the toe area, the high abrasion area right there.
Well, this sounds great. I've heard great things about the foam, particularly how it's softened up a little bit. I always appreciate that. So I'm definitely excited to try these out. And then last but certainly not least, let's move on to the Evo 1.
Yeah, this is our $500 racing shoe. Obviously, that's a price that's way higher than we're normally used to, but we see it as the shoe that is built to perform at the very highest level. In the end, when you're if you're paying for training, your travel, your all your apparel and everything, $500 for a PR is kind of a bargain after all that hard work you've put in. But it was specifically built to be as light as possible, but also still be able to give all the benefits of the super shoes that we all know and love now. So this upper, you can see how thin and breathable it is. That's, again, we want to shave down as much weight, so having no extra things that we don't need on there, make it just fitting to the foot really well. And then the biggest thing with this shoe here is the midsole compound. It's still Lightstrike Pro, but we call it Lightstrike Pro Evo. This is a non-compressed super foam, so it means that it's not as dense as our normal super foams, so it keeps it really light. The whole shoe itself is 4.9 ounces. So like when you have it in your hand, you kind of go, is there a shoe in my hand? It's a really nice feeling. And then we did this brand new technology, this liquid rubber outsole. It's very sticky to the ground. You can see it just doesn't move at all, which is a really cool sensation when you're out there racing. You want to, as soon as you're putting the power through your feet, you want to stick to the ground. You don't want any slippage. So very cool innovation that they did here. And then of course it's signed by Yomif Kajalcha, set the world record 3 weeks ago in Valencia in the half marathon.
Wow.
Yeah, it's already set a bunch of world records, Olympic Games wins. So we're really happy with the shoe.
And how would you say that the durability of this shoe is comparable to something like the Adios Pro?
Yeah, the Pro will be more durable. This midsole foam is going to probably last a little bit longer. But we just recently saw a study that was 500 kilometers. They tested this over, and the testers were saying that they would still absolutely race in it at that point. There was a story about how this is a one race shoe. That's for absolute optimal performance. You're going to get the most out, like a lot of shoes, that one marathon. But
so
you'll
for 57:30 half marathoners.
Yeah, it was probably his first time wearing this. So, but yeah, it's a shoe that's been working so well. We saw a lot of people buying it recently and getting great commentary around it because they were like, I've never felt anything like this before.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much. Be sure to keep an eye out at Fleet Feet for these upcoming exciting Adidas shoes, and stay tuned to our YouTube channel for more shoe reviews.